Let's see what happens here. I have not streamed at these hours in a very, very long time. So I'm curious who will show up. Who goes there? Who's out there? Felix is the first to make a move here. Hey, I'm kind of mad because I got copyrighted while live earlier. Really? Wait, that's possible? You can get copyrighted while you're live? How did that work? How did that happen? What were you doing? I've gotten my lives copyrighted, or like copyright restricted, or copyright claimed, but it was after the fact. It was after the live finished, once I was done. But never while live. How does that work? Did they end your stream? What time is it in Korea right now, too? I think you're 17 hours ahead. I didn't even have music playing or stuff. I was co-live with my friend. She didn't have music, but I got copyrighted during the live. Huh. Without any music. That sounds strange. Who copyrighted you? Did you look at your video on your channel? Because it tells you why you got copyright claimed. It tells you who copyright claimed. And it shows you which segment of your video is copyright claimed. It's 12 p.m. in Korea right now. It didn't look. I see. Oh, you could take a look. The answer should be there somewhere. But that is strange. I didn't know that was possible. And that's a little concerning. I've wanted to do lives with music, like playing along to songs or stuff like that. So it's a little concerning to hear that I might get copyright claimed if I do. Okay, I'm gonna look at my computer because I have the same account on my computer. Very well, go for it. Let me know what you find out. It's been a really strange day for me over here. I feel like I'm getting sick, maybe. My stomach has been queasy. I just haven't been feeling well in general. I was really tired today, but that's because I didn't sleep very well, I thought. I just felt like lethargic. Korea's skies are so pretty. Nice. I found out who copyrighted me. Who was it? It could be maybe a regional thing too. Because copyrights are different in different states and stuff, different countries. Who copyrighted you though? It was my sister. Bruv, are you kidding me right now? Are you serious? How did she manage to do that? That sounds pretty absurd and pretty toxic. And I think illegal too. My sister gonna get told on right now. Jeez. Just be careful. Make sure before you. It was her user, and I don't know how she did copyright me. I think anyone can file a claim, but I think it's illegal, highly illegal. So maybe you can sue your sister. I'm kidding. But that's very strange. A pretty mean thing to do. Oh man. I'm gonna change my profile pic. Give me a second. Sure. I can't actually see profile pictures anymore. Not on the app I'm using. It only shows if you're from YouTube or on Twitch. I think the app I'm using is from Korea. Korean app. Oh my gosh. Back, change my profile picture. I can't see your profile picture, but what is it? I do like seeing profile pictures, but on this app I'm using, it doesn't show. Can you guys hear the rain? I imagine so. My window is open. And it's raining quite loudly. I'm gonna get a K-pop album for a gift for graduation to another grade. A shark? Oh. My profile picture is my 26-year-old crush. I see. I hear the rain. I see. Yeah. It's relaxing and soothing. I don't know if you know what tinnitus is, Felix. Any tinnitus sufferers out there? I've recently started, or just last night, I started having like what do they call it? Like pulsative tinnitus. There's tinnitus, which is like when you have ringing in your ears, and there's apparently a pulsative tinnitus where you have like a pulse in your ear. And since last night, I've had a pulsative tinnitus. It's really unpleasant, pretty annoying, and I don't know why it started. But it's been happening all day, like every 10-15 seconds. I hear like pulsating come in, and then it goes away. And then like 20 seconds later it comes back. Dang, I just realized my crush is 26 and I'm 8 and he's 18 years older. Jesus, yeah, that's a huge age gap. I don't know whether or not not to be concerned. I looked up pulsative tinnitus and it doesn't sound like it bodes well. But I'm hoping it goes away. I think it might be because I had a fan on. I was using a high-powered fan in my room. It was blowing at my head, blowing at my face. So I'm hoping it's just from that and that it goes away. But it is pretty concerning, pretty annoying. If I'm not like making noise or listening to something, like every 15 seconds I just hear it boom, boom, boom. Not me realizing when I'm 20 he'll be 28. Oh heck no. 38. Yeah, that's pretty dubious, Felix. I don't know if you know what that word means. Dubious is like doubtful, maybe, something like that. I was gonna say problematic, but not exactly. It doesn't exactly mean problematic, but more like doubtful. Something to be skeptical about. I'm gonna make a homemade icy right now. Interesting. Do you speak any Korean, Felix? It's called heck in Korea. Have you learned any Korean words? I know 안녕하세요, hello, and 감사합니다, thank you, 감사합니다. Yes, I speak Korean. I type Korean too. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I didn't know your dad was Korean. That's surprising to me. Or that was surprising to me. Because as of like a week ago, you said you didn't know where your dad was from, no? You said your mom was Navajo. Or partially Navajo. It sounds like an interesting combination. Indigenous American and Korean. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But my relationship is uncommon as well, probably. I'm Mexican American and my girlfriend is Chinese. So probably not too many of that combination out there. But I imagine there's intercultural relationships of all sorts of places, all over the world. Ever since I was gone these days, I got 67 subs without me knowing because I checked it earlier. I can't believe I have 67 subs. Like you got 67 more without checking, or you had less than 67 and now you have 67? It is riveting, it's exciting to grow your channel. Just yesterday I hit 300 subs, which is pretty crazy, you know? I had about, when I started up on my channel at the start of this year, I had 21 or 22 subs. Now I'm at 300, which is still very little comparatively, all things considered. But it's a lot more than 21 or 22 subs, you know? So I don't always feel proud, but I certainly am proud of myself, you know? I've come a long way. And I think there's a much longer way to come. I'm 3/5 of the way to getting monetized in terms of subs. I need 500. But I guess the harder part is the watch time hours. I'm only like 1/4, 1/5? No, like 1/4 of the way there for watch time. But I mean, most of that growth was in the past like 2 months. So I think another month or two, I think I could get there. And that would be amazing. That would be huge. That would be really cool. I kind of want to get like a new phone and a new laptop. I want to be able to stream other things, you know? These days I only stream chatting and playing guitar and walking around, which is a decent amount of things, you know? But I do miss my video games, you know? Age of Empires is one of my favorite video games. Age of Empires 2. I've been missing that game. Sometimes I dream about that game. Do you guys ever dream about video games? I used to dream a lot about Minecraft and sometimes League of Legends. But that game is very nostalgic for me. One of my favorites. Earlier I was watching a live stream of my K-pop group and they said hi to me. I'm so happy, yippee. You're a K-pop group? Blue says intercultural relationships are the best. Learning about and embracing other cultures is the best way for us to realize that we are all the same and in this together. I agree, Blue, my guy. You've been lurking out here. How you doing, man? I had to leave pretty soon after you dropped in earlier. I felt like shit. And I still kind of do, but not as bad. I'm a little better. I play Minecraft LOL. It's a good game. It's a really good game. It's a very educational game too, if you do it right. But it was something I was thinking about earlier, you know, like I don't think I've taken enough time to just like enjoy doing things, like just relax and decompress. Watch like I haven't, well, part of it is I haven't had Wi-Fi, so I haven't like watched my favorite YouTubers or stuff like that. I have to pay $1 every time I use my data to stream. No worries, I had to jump back to work too. Love joining your streams though. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And I play Roblox. I never played Roblox. Growing up, I played Minecraft, Age of Empires 2, Age of Mythology, Freedom Force. When I was really young at the arcades, I would play like Metal Slug and Super Mario Brothers, Street Fighter, stuff like that. But in my teenage years, top 3 games, definitely Minecraft, Call of Duty Black Ops, and League of Legends. Later, I plan on going to the park by myself. That sounds a little dubious, no, Felix? Is that safe? I mean, Korea is a pretty safe place, I think. But safe enough for someone to go to the park by themselves at 8 years old? I would be a little concerned. Blue, have you done much international travel outside of like the US and Mexico? I've really been just nostalgic for my time in China. I want to go back. In Korea, the people here don't kidnap. They are too sweet and kind. My parents allow me to. Well, there's probably less of it, but I think in any place, there are some people who kidnap. Um, but yeah, just be careful out there. Don't do anything silly. There are some bad people in the world, but mostly good people. Mostly great people. I don't really believe in good and bad. There just is, you know? People are people. But do be careful. Sleepy, slumpy. I'm feeling it, but I don't want to go to sleep quite yet. There's more work to be done. More conversations to be had. But I do hope to do more than just converse and play guitar. I'm gonna have pizza for dinner. Nice. I had soup, fish soup, tilapia soup, caldo de tilapia that my girlfriend made. It was really good. Very healthy. It was literally like, I think I ate the most vegetables probably I ever have. Like give me any week in my life. And I feel like this week I've eaten more vegetables than any other point in my life. No cap. I ate 2 bowls. It's basically just tilapia with corn, carrots, chayote, green beans, celery, potato, chili, and maybe tomato, and onion. A lot of vegetables, basically just pure vegetables. Throw it in a pot with some fish and some spices. And that's what I ate. Two bowls full of that. A lot. And this afternoon I also ate soup. Chicken soup, but basically the same. I ate waffle, sausage, and eggs for breakfast. That sounds tasty. The classic American breakfast. I haven't had that in a hot minute. Only when I'm traveling in a hotel do I tend to have such things. Blue says, I travel a lot. The best way to unite yourself is to be naked. Not literally, but vulnerable in a place where you don't know the language or culture. I agree. What are some of your favorite travel experiences, Blue? I was starting to think you might have not heard my question. You're not worth or funny or charming when you can't interact. That's true, man. You know, that's part of why I really loved my trip to Thailand. I literally, the thing is there's a lot of people who will be haters and they'll be respect the culture, I don't know, just kind of shitting on people who travel and trying to guilt them and stuff. And there's certainly unethical ways to travel, but you gotta trust your experiences, And when I was in Thailand, I can't learn the language of every place I go. No one can. There's too many languages out there, and so I only knew 2 words. By the end, maybe 4. I knew Sawadee Ka, hello, Kapkun Kap. Thank you. And Kai Dao, which is fried egg. Kai Dao, fried egg. And then at some point I knew the word for water. I think it was like Nyan or something like that. I forget. But, you know, when I was over there, I knew like nothing. My girlfriend learned a decent amount. But, you know, it was a really special trip because like we were there for a month, and, you know, it helped me realize like I could get around and, you know, live my life, trust people, travel, like explore. And, you know, I don't need to know the language. You know, there's so much you can communicate just through, you know, your facial expressions, your body language, just your vibe, you know? If you're just really kind and warm and friendly and like humble, like humiliated, because, you know, it is a bit humiliating, just like you said, you know, it's a vulnerable thing to be like just completely clueless in a new country. And so, yeah, Thailand was a really great trip for me, and really showed me that, you know, you don't need to speak a language to travel somewhere. My favorite place to travel is anywhere that I haven't been. Wow, I feel like deja vu right there. Someone has told me that. Maybe you told me that. And I think I think you told me that before. And I think before you told me that, someone else had told me that. But it's a good little slogan. I like it. I'm very eager to go to Thailand. As of today, my favorite destination has probably been Cassis in the south of France. Damn. Sounds cool, man. I've never been to Europe. Yallah, I'm back. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Casper. Salam, salam. Yallah, yallah. Blue says the food. Follow the food. Thai food sounds incredible right now. Yeah. No, Thai. Oh my gosh, man. Thailand was amazing. Like the food is just so tasty, and like the portions are a little small, but like it's really cheap. I mean, in like US dollar terms, like I think like any given day I could eat out every meal and eat like pretty nice, I mean like street food and stuff, but like I'll order like 2 portions and I would spend like $2, $3 maybe. Good times, man. That was March of this year. Both good and bad. The experience in the country was good. There was a lot of tensions in my relationship, but we grew from it. Casper says, wa alaikum. You know, it's interesting because Khan, the guy I mentioned earlier from Pakistan, he spells things differently. And I think he had told me, like, you can kind of tell where people are from based on how they say / spell, like, assalamu alaikum and, like, wa alaikum assalam, and little details like that. But I can tell that your spelling is a little different from how he would spell it, I think. As a fellow? As a fellow? I don't know if I missed one of your messages, or maybe you're about to type something more. But all I saw was, you said Thai food sounds incredible right now. Casper said wa alaikum, and you said as a fellow. So I might be missing something. I hope to go to Europe someday, but it's quite expensive. I mean, I can't even. Well, I guess I could, if I got like a real job. I could make money and live in the U.S. or travel to more expensive places, but it comes at a cost. Yeah, Pakistani people spell differently, I see. As a fellow and like-minded traveler, what experience stands out as magical to you? Magical. Anything that changed your life or rather your perspective? I mean, the first time I ever traveled was really pivotal, a really foundational experience. I went to Utah. I was in high school. I was like 15 years old, I think 10th grade. And at that point, I'd never left the state of California, USA. And I had a friend who, his family was going to Utah on a family trip, and he invited me. And I went. And it was my first time out of the state, and we went to Zion National Park. It was incredible, man. It was just breathtaking, just super beautiful. I remember, I think it's called, I don't know, I forget what it's called. But there's a certain lookout, like a canyon lookout at Zion National Park. And you're like at the top and just like looking down into the canyon on both sides. And it's super, super beautiful. And I remember just like, it was like the first time I experienced like bliss. Like I was just so present and just like locked in and just not thinking about anything, just really happy and peaceful and like content. And nothing's ever come close. Probably the most foundational experience in terms of travel in my life. And that was really what got me really interested in travel. And it would be a long time before I got to travel. And, you know, I had intended to travel more in like 2020, but then COVID hit, and then I didn't travel for years. And, you know, part of that helped me kind of light that fire under my ass and be like, you know, if I want to make things happen, if I want to live the life I want to live, like I gotta chase it proactively. And so I went on a lot of really great trips from there. Road trip, one of my favorites is this road trip with a buddy from California to Canada, along the West Coast, mostly. And then, yeah, I mean, from there it's just been like non-stop travel, honestly. Casper said, going to Mecca for the first time was crazy, getting to see the Kaaba. I assume that's the big black box in the middle, the Kaaba. I've seen videos and pictures and stuff. I imagine it's a pretty crazy experience. From that road trip, I mean, it was basically non-stop travel from there. I lived in China for a year, and then just from there, I've just been traveling basically. For me, I remember seeing the ovens for the first time. It was in Galveston, Texas. The water was gray and sad, and the only thing I thought was, this is bullshit. I've got to get out of here. I was 10. The ovens. What is that? I haven't heard of that. The ovens? Casper said, big cube. Yes. I've been exploring our beautiful world since. Ocean. Oh. The ocean. Okay, I see. You know, it's crazy. I remember, I forget what it was. It might have been in one of my classes in college and in university. I don't know what it was or where I saw it, but there was this clip of like, it was like a son or someone's child who had like a father, really old Mexican guy, who lived in like a landlocked state of Mexico for his whole life, and he'd never seen the ocean. And the kid like took him out on a trip to see the ocean, and it was like got really emotional, and like I remember crying. I almost feel the tears swelling up now, you know. it's just really beautiful. And like it's wild. Some people never leave their town. The town I'm in right now, in Sayula, Jalisco, Mexico, there are plenty of people who have never even left this town. Um, and I guess traveling isn't for everyone, but there's a lot of people who want to travel but don't have the means. And I guess it's part of the inspiration for like wanting to do like travel vlogs and stuff. There's a lot of people who can never go to the places I can go to. The craziest part is like in terms of like my financial status as an American, like I'm like bottom of the barrel. I'm super in debt. I don't make any money right now. And I guess it's tricky because it's like part of traveling is like it is some people genuinely have very, very hard circumstances to be able to travel. But I feel like a lot of times there's also like it's doable if you find a way. It's definitely easier for like Americans or people born in like developed countries. But that's like the craziest part is like, there are people in the US who make a lot of money and they only travel for like a vacation or something to like a resort. And I just feel like, or maybe it's just the people I've been around, but I feel like a lot of people don't have a lot of belief that they can travel. You always hear the excuse or like the barrier. People always bring up the money, but there's plenty of places to go to. Traveling isn't just going to like a resort or staying in hotels and going to Europe and stuff like that. Like it's a crazy big world. And even without money, people manage to travel. It's a fascinating, it's a fascinating sector, I guess. Blue says, I don't know what I believe. I don't know that I believe in God, but I can't imagine getting up to the pearly gates and having God say, really? WTF? I gave you every opportunity to see the paradise and you didn't? That's true. One of my favorite things while traveling with Al Taliban was getting to see the vast deserts and great cities that we eventually robbed. Jesus. That's craziness. But that's true, man. I guess you did get to see a lot. I feel like deserts are one of those things where it's like, I don't think I'd ever want to live in one. It's so hot and dry and I don't know. But there is like something to appreciate about human resilience and adaptability in living in deserts. And like in California, I don't know if you guys, or maybe Blue, maybe you've heard of Joshua Tree National Park. But I've spent a lot of time there and I really enjoy it now. But I remember at first thinking like I couldn't believe people lived out there. Because it's just it seemed so barren. But, when I went camping, I went on like a lot of trips there, some solo trips there. And I remember just walking around through the desert and there was so much life. There's a lot more than meets the eye when you're just driving by. There's so much variety in plants and ant colonies and rock. The geology is different. It's really neat, It's not a horse and buggy in 3 decades across the country anymore. We can go in just a couple days anywhere. That's true. That is very true. And it doesn't have to be expensive, I think the idea of travel in like the US is like really like luxurious, like vacationing. But if you're willing to get your hands dirty a little, just go backpacking, all you need is, it depends where you want to go, what you want to do. But in Thailand especially, there's a fuck ton of people that go backpacking. Joshua Tree is lovely. Could never live there because it's so dependent on outsourced product, but it is a lovely place to visit. Dependent on outsourced products, huh? I've never thought about it that way. Africa was cheap, Egypt was amazing too. I imagine Africa is really cheap. Man, it's really mind-boggling how powerful the US dollar is in certain countries, dude. I was watching this video of like this dude who like retired in the Philippines and he spends like $200 a month on his house. And it kind of is depressing in the sense that like I feel like there's so many people who are so miserable in the US paying like thousands of dollars on rent, dude. Thousands of dollars. In California and New York. Dude, if like I have just such a changed perspective on money and I feel like I can't justify spending it in the US, you know? Like knowing how much further it goes elsewhere, it just feels like such a waste to spend it in the US. I mean, even like now, and I've been here in Mexico for like a month, and in this whole month I've spent maybe like a few $100. Probably less. Maybe 200. And if I was in the US, if I was just renting a place, if I was just eating food for a month, I would already have spent $200 in like a week or two. It's sad that so many countries with so many less resources in the US can take better care of their people. Yeah, the US is an interesting place, to say the least. I feel like every time I leave the US, I feel less and less. I feel more and more disillusioned when I come back. Honestly. Healthcare alone will destroy you financially in the US. Very true. There was someone from Sweden, and was it Halo Holic? Maybe. Saying that life in Sweden is very much more chill. I think they have universal healthcare and stuff. You know, there's actually there's a video going viral right now. I don't know if you guys have run into it by chance. Maybe you, Blue. But it's this guy that was a neurosurgeon, or no, a back surgeon for like 20 years. And he quit without a plan. He could just feel that something was off. It was wrong. Like, he just didn't feel right. And he was miserable. He was unhappy. And basically, like, he got really disillusioned because the healthcare system is like designed to treat sickness, not prevent it. And especially with like his back surgeries, he would find that like a lot of his patients didn't even need the back surgery. Like, they would schedule it, and then by the time it was time for them to have their surgery, they would improve. And over time, like, he realized like a lot of people's health, it wasn't just like a quick fix solution, like just get a surgery. It's like most of the people that would recover or that would do a lot better and like maintain their health would like eat healthy diets, have a non-stressful job, have like social life, friends, fulfillment, all these things. And at some point he quit, and I guess for like a year or two he didn't say anything, and he was just doing like ASMR videos and videos of his dogs and like in nature and the forest and stuff. But he posted a video that went super viral. I don't know what it's at now. It's got to be at like 10 million views or something. But just talking about his whole experience in the healthcare system and being disillusioned with it, and how broken it is, how tied to money it is. Plus one of that, when I go to the US, I experience culture shock from all of the ads about prescription medication and lawsuits. What kind of a-hole goes to the doctor and says, make me a prescription for this drug I saw on TV? Ask your doctor about should talk to her about blah, 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 blah. This may cause other symptoms. It's like an advertisement where it's like may cause hypertension, depression, heartache. I don't know. I can't even think of things to say fast enough. But yeah, those crazy drugs where it's like all happy and peaceful, and then the last 10 seconds they blurb out everything that could go wrong with it. Yeah, it's a mess, man. It's a shit show. And I think there's a few things I kind of feel that way about. But it's I don't know. I'm learning to trust myself more, trust my observations, my experiences over the past months. Like I've been realizing, like I pick up on things that other people don't see, and I think for a lot of my life I didn't have the strength to like bring things up. I would kind of act on fear or be worried that people would retaliate or be angry at me for pointing things out, but I realized there's actually a lot of strength, a lot of potential to do good in letting people know about things you observe, like in a relationship or I don't know, all sorts of stuff. Side effects include nausea, hypertension, heart attack, restlessness, headache, dizziness, and death. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think I've always been a very observant person. I think the hardest part is trusting my observations and having the courage to voice them. Particularly things that like maybe goes against the status quo. I feel like a lot of Americans are very staunch, perhaps, in their like love for the country. Kind of like a nationalistic ego in a way. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it feels overwhelming to challenge that, I guess. Don't take this medicine if you're a human person, blame Capri. Indeed. Yeah. I think one of the things about traveling, like, I like to travel. I follow a lot of travelers, like on Instagram, YouTube, and I think a lot of people really shit on certain people. That's very vague, but like I think it's tricky because a lot of people hate. I think it's a lot of people are hating on people who are doing the things they want to do. You know? Like I think a lot of people are too far deep in a life that they hate, and there's nothing left to do but shit on people who do something else other than what you're doing, you know? Luckily, I don't really surround myself with people like that, but like I have a friend who has a stepbrother, or no, a brother-in-law, who's just a very, very miserable person, and is just constantly angry and resentful and bitter, and I think everyone knows someone or has encountered someone like this, and I guess at some point I was like that, not as bad, but during COVID when I was at an all-time low, I was a very pessimistic, very bitter, very unhappy person. And I've come a long way since. And a huge part of that was cutting the bad fruit off the tree, removing my exposure to people around me who are really negative, really toxic. there's a quote from it's from Westworld, the show Westworld. It's a scene where like this guy's talking about his like dad used to take him to like a circus, and he talks about how like the elephants were raised there, and when they were young, they would use like a wooden stake and surround the elephant. And so growing up, the elephant was really afraid of like the wood. It became afraid through its life of the wood, of the stake, of the plank of wood. And even into adulthood, the elephant could easily just destroy the damn thing, break free from its shackles. But its entire life, it was conditioned into fearing the stakes, and not realizing its potential, not realizing its own strength. And yeah, I guess, yeah. I agree. I see you breaking out of the Matrix, and I'm loving it. Welcome back, brother. Thanks, man. I feel like the whole Matrix thing is a little, or ever since like the Andrew Tate stuff, I feel like it's become a bit of a meme. Like the word has kind of been desensitized. But yeah, I get what you mean. Being a baby, cut that toxic shit out of your life, and it will be like an anchor that, or it will be like an anchor that holds you back. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Although I haven't been as in touch with people as I've wanted to. Mostly because I haven't had Wi-Fi. But equally important is keeping the positive people around you, you know? Maintaining those connections with real people, the real friends, the people you can trust. The people who support you and want to see you grow, want to see you thrive. I think it's important as well. Vikram says, well, hello. What's up, Vikram? How you doing, man? But yeah, the hardest part is letting the toxic people go. Blood isn't always family. Yeah, luckily I don't have I haven't had to deal with family that's not toxic. I haven't been talking to my mom as much for my own, I don't know. It's just sad, I guess. She's not very, or at least in the past, she didn't seem to be very supportive or trusting in my vision, you know? Which I don't blame her for. Something I thought about earlier this week was, it's not that I want to prove people wrong, it's that I want to prove myself right. Like I want to prove to myself that I can do this, that I can make this happen, make what I want to do happen, create the life I want to, however impossible it feels, however lonely, however secluded I feel, disconnected. You know, there's nothing more valuable than our connection with ourselves. At the end of the day, you know? First time in day for me. That's true, I haven't live streamed at night in a very, very long time. Welcome, man. Man, it's just reminded me, I haven't seen Ezio in a long time. Our boy from Pakistan, Ezio. Nothing else matters. Exacto. Nothing else matters, indeed. That's a good song. Metallica, Nothing Else Matters. If it wasn't 11 p.m., I would grab my guitar and play it. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's a bit of like a weird, I guess, point in my life where it's like, I mean, I think I'm definitely in the right direction. I think I definitely still struggle a lot. And I'm kind of constantly deconditioning myself from fears, expectations, all the shoulds in our life, you know? And a lot of that I did months ago when I first started getting really active on YouTube. Well, I was doing travel vlogs, and then I was just doing like thought diary, thought journaling, like every day, just speaking my thoughts out loud. And it's so valuable, man. It's so valuable. Because you don't know how in control or out of control you are of your own mind until you really put it out there and are able to observe it, you know? A lot of times if we kind of just go about our days, we're constantly in our head, constantly distracted. TikTok, Snapchat, Netflix, maybe even this. Although I would argue this is a little better than scrolling TikTok. Less dopaminergic, something like that. But yeah, man, it was like one of the most profound, important phases of my life. I lost like a close friend of mine, and I was basically just not doing anything for like a month, and that was really hard because it's like there's so much pressure in our lives to meet certain expectations, to be working, to, I don't know, have goals constantly. You know, sometimes we get stuck in like self-growth. It becomes counterintuitive or like counterproductive. Like we're so focused on chasing growth, reading books, listening to podcasts, like exercising, like doing this, doing that, working, being productive, side hustling, getting a girlfriend. I don't know, you know? It's all great stuff. But I feel like I've fallen into the trap on both ends, where sometimes I get far too distracted and I don't leave time to myself, you know, to like decompress. It's a very important thing, I think. Giving yourself the space to see how you feel, see how you think, see where your mind's at. And that for basically a whole month, that was what I was doing. I just gave myself the time and the space to just think and exist and sort of realize, what do I believe? Who am I right now, you know? And if it wasn't for that month, I wouldn't have made such strides in progress in deconditioning myself from all the expectations I have on me, societally, parental, peers, social media, and then deciding who it is I want to be. It's kind of two-part. Getting rid of the person that you are because other people want you to be that, and then becoming the person you want to be. Deciding who it is you want to be. And to do that, first you need to know who it is you want to be. Love you, brother. Hang in there. I have to sign off for another work call before bed, but I see you in your heart. Keep following your instincts. You have potential to rise above them all. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Have a good work call. I'll see you around, man. I appreciate this conversation. I do enjoy having these deeper conversations, but sometimes I don't have the strength to kind of anchor the conversation into something like this. So yeah, appreciate you. I'll see you around, man. What else is out there? It's the kind of conversations I like to have at 11 p.m. at night. The ones that really get you thinking, really get you reflecting on your life, on your path, your journey thus far. You know? You feel, man? How's everyone else doing? It's still raining. I just realized. There's a moth scuttling around. I don't know what it is. I'll do what I did earlier. I'll just sit here until someone starts talking to me. Caesar sancta urbis Roma Augusto, aun legatum ad Germania misit, senatorem Publium Quintilium varum. You know? What you feel? Glad I did this. I'm glad I came online one more time today. Feels good. Feels good to stream at different points in time throughout the day, rather than chunking it all together. Gives me the flexibility to do it as I want to, when I want to. Makes it more enjoyable, makes it more flexible, more genuine, more authentic. All that stuff. All that good stuff. meditate. Oh man. Oh man. Got me a bit lightheaded there. Deep breaths. Very valuable. Very valuable practice. Valuable action to take. Grounding. Invigorating. Oh man. Do you feel it? It actually does seem to help with my pulsative tinnitus. Oh man. It feels good. It also makes me a little lightheaded. Oddly enough. Both at the same time. What'd you guys eat for dinner tonight? Last night? 2 nights ago? Today? Tomorrow? Breakfast, perhaps? I had a lot of soup today. Chicken soup and fish soup. Twice. 2 servings of fish soup. A lot of vegetables. A lot of vegetables. Man. What a day. What a life. What a world. It's a crazy world and we're living in it. That's for sure. Alright, well, if there's no more chitter chatter out there, perhaps I'll take my leave. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Any last words? Alright. In that case, I shall be taking my leave. Thanks for watching. Take care. Peace.